All right. Another thing that some of you were asking about is how to move a bad guy randomly. If you've watched some of the earlier videos, we know how to make bad guys reverse direction based on tiles, or we know how to have a bad guy, a boss, create a barrel or something like that, and it sets to a certain direction. But if we want to have random movement where a bad guy comes out of a pipe, for example, the pipe could be a boss, and it moves, we don't know if it will move left or right. Here's a simple way to set that up. So I have a pipe guy and a pipe. You don't need to have a pipe, excuse me, but you'll see here that I have on the pipe do every 5 seconds, create a pipe guy at x of self, y of self, and I added this -5 just so I could get the pipe guy to start from the top of the pipe as opposed to exactly in the middle. So all this pipe is doing is creating bad guys. Just like in our previous videos, way back, Donkey Kong, the boss creates a barrel. So this should be a review if you've been following along. Now here we are on the pipe guy. So before I explain what all this means, we have a turn on motion created and motion direction. Alright, you're going to see, we're keeping up with our theme of game attributes, that we need a number attribute, and I've called mine a randomizer. Okay, so this randomizer is crossing between the pipe guy and our level. So we're going to start with the level. Okay, so make a new event, and we're doing a time every n seconds, and I have mine running every 1 second. So we are taking our setters, and every 1 second we're setting our randomizer to a random float. Now you don't have to use this random float between 0 and 1. You could use on this one where you can write your own numbers if you want a higher degree of variability. For now, we'll just use a smaller number. Plug that in, and that's all there is to it. So what this means is that we have a rolling dice, essentially. Every 1 second, this dice is rolling, and it's generating a number between 0 and 1. So it's using decimals. You got 10 decimals here. Same thing as 1 to 10, just smaller numbers. So now that we have this rolling, random number, we go back to the pipe guy. Now what we're going to do is say when created, pipe guys are being created every 5 seconds. So when it's created, if the randomizer is less than 0.4, make sure you have that decimal. So we're getting our randomizer getters, and we need our comparisons, which should be in numbers. Let's see, where'd those go? Oh, here we go. Flow, comparisons. So we need a less than. And we also are then going to say set left motion to true. This is another game attribute Boolean. Okay, so let's go back to our game attributes, and you'll see I have Boolean left motion. So we'll have to create that. Boolean left motion. I'm setting mine to true, so the initial value is that it's going to move left. Okay. Once we have our randomizer and the if statement, we're setting up that if the randomizer is less than 0.4, so we have 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4, it will move to the left. We're setting left motion to true. Otherwise, if randomizer is greater than or equal, you have to make sure you have the equal there, because if it's only greater than 5, it will never land on a 5. Okay, so greater than or equal to. It's right down here. So if it's greater than or equal to 0.5, set left motion to false. You're getting all of that in your setters. Okay, so you're setting two of these up as follows. And the true and false can be found right here under the comparison drop-down menu. Alright, so this is turning on the motion. It will be going left, or it will not be going left. So now we just have to set the motion direction, and this is another when created. Okay? When created, right there. If left motion equals true, set your x speed to -20. Otherwise, if left motion equals false, set your x speed to +20. Negative is left, positive is right. So with only this one direction, if left is true, you're going left. If left is false, you're going right. And our randomizer that we've created over here is randomly deciding every 1 second whether or not left will be true or false. And the last thing, to save you in the future, when created, another event, make self always active. That way, if the pipe guy ever goes off the screen or generates from a point off screen, it will continue to move. And the last thing, just as a fail-safe, I had kill self after 8 seconds, so you don't end up with thousands of bad guys on the screen at the same time. This is optional. You could do something else, that they leave the screen and die, or however you want to set your game up, but you don't want to have hundreds of bad guys because the game will start to freeze.